I'm Sara Maria, practice representative for Weiss Chiropractic. Thank you so much for joining me today. I promise if you give me your undivided attention, you will not be disappointed. Today I'm here to educate you a little bit on how to stay young your first 100 years. Now I know you're kind of saying, did she just say first 100 years? That's a cute little catchphrase, but is that even realistic? The answer is absolutely. In fact, in the 1900s, our life expectancy was only about 49 years. That's because of the lack of medical advancements. If something hurt or if there's an ailment, the chances of fatality were pretty high, as well as infancy fatality was pretty high back then as well. Nowadays, thanks to the advancements in medicine, back in the 1997, our life expectancy was predicted to be 77.6 as opposed to the 50 years. That's a whole almost 30 years we just gained. Our good friends out of the University of Texas predicted that as of 2050, we should be living till we're about 100 to 150, and that 800,000 Americans will be living at the age of 100 and above. That special on the Today Show with Willard Scott and Smuckers is going to have to change. Congratulations those over 100, because they're going to have to dedicate the whole show to it soon. Now, with the advancements in medicine and this prolonged life, the first generation we've really seen is this big baby boomers be living a longer life. Baby boomers have kind of been the biggest amount of group we've been able to research and document when it comes to living longer, and any of the mishaps that may be in the medical field because of it. We have seen now more dementia and Alzheimer's. Those were not household names 20 years ago, simply because people weren't living that long in order to be seen in this way. Dementia and Alzheimer's, though, has become very prevalent in our lives, and we've done a lot of research, and we've found a lot of ways to prevent this disease from coming on. They say do a crossword or some Sudoku every day to keep your mind sharp and agile. People are doing preventative measures in order to avoid these mental illnesses. Another big problem with the baby boomers that are coming out, turning 50 and above, is musculoskeletal, or your spine, your system, your skeletal system, that is starting to deteriorate. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. The most common cause of functional disability for adults over the age of 50 is a spinal disorder. You only have one spine. You need to protect it. It's very vital. Now, do you plan on living past 50? I know I do. So we must start now in preventative measures in order for us to live the life we need to live. If I were to tell you today that tomorrow at 2 p.m. someone is going to come rob your house, you wouldn't simply say, "Thanks, Sara Maria," and go about your day and do nothing about it. You would do everything you can to prevent this tragedy from happening, to protect what's yours, and to stake claim on everything that you've earned. Well, I'm here to tell you that in fact, life is going to try and rob you of your mobility. Are you going to do anything about it? Are there any preventative measures you can do for that? The answer is of course. Of course you can. In fact, the most likely age for you to lose most mobility is around 65. Now with our life expectancy growing to about 100, that's 40 years of immobility and pain that you could be living in, but you don't have to live that way. In fact, thanks to the advancements of medicine, a lot of things have improved for us to be living these long, happy lives. Advancements in the dental care have grown greatly within the last 20 years. You know, if you want whiter teeth, we can do that. You want sturdier teeth, we can do that. The number of cavities and tooth decay has decreased a lot because of these preventative measures that researchers have found. Of course, a lot of Americans say, seeing is believing, right? So we want to look young in order to feel young. This has caused a huge boom in the cosmetic industry, where a 465% increase in cosmetic measures have occurred in the last 20 years. That's 12 million Americans getting cosmetic procedures in hopes to feel young. That's all good and well. You can fill your cheeks a little, you know, you can fix the crow's feet, you can have your pearly teeth white, but you can If you do this, you'll be the youngest person looking in a wheelchair. If you don't take preventative measures for your spine, you may look young, but not being able to live life, not being able to go through, pick up your grandchildren, play with them, what kind of a life is that? A lack of mobility will make you look much older than any crow's feet will. So, we here like to say, if your spine was on your face, you'd take better care of it. So just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there, doesn't mean it's not a vital piece to your vitality, to your youth, to your enjoyment in life. Now, luckily these days, with the advancements of medicine, if for some unfortunate reason you needed a new heart, a new lung, we could do that for you. We have transplants. We know how to do that. If for some reason you needed a prosthetic leg or a different arm, we can do that for you. However, when it comes to your spine, you only get one. It is so key to prevent any sort of major spinal injuries in order for your mobility to stay intact. You only get one spine. There is no transplant. A lot of people, when they think of chiropractic and the need for it, they think of back pain. Well, it's not limited just to back pain. Neck pain has a lot to do with it as well. 1 in 3 Americans suffer from neck pain, and 85 out of 100 Americans suffer from low back pain. I don't know about you, but I want to live past 50, and I don't want to go, hey, I want to be able to turn like an owl and greet people and move. The key to doing all that, though, is the preventative care. Now, here I have a scale, and I'm going to take you back to math class just a little bit. Promise I won't make you do any algebraic equations or anything. But if we will look at the X scale down here, that's your age in years. And over on the Y scale, from 0 to 100 is your maximum function, or your mobility, the way you're able to move. This scale you can see, at about 23 is where you peak. That's your maximum amount of vitality and mobility. You're invincible. You can do anything when you're 23. Then as you see down here, at age 50, it dips down to only about 50% mobility. 50% is being a bit conservative as well. As you can see, it then drastically continues to drop. Within only 10 years, dropping 50% more to only 25% mobility, and continues to lower from there. So at about 65, as I said earlier, that's 40 years of immobility, when it doesn't need to be that way. There are preventative measures, preventative chiropractic measures you can take. As you can see on this scale over here, the red is again nature taking its course, no preventative measures, just going along with life, letting your spine degenerate. This green scale over here is with chiropractic. This shows that you can maintain a life of 75% mobility for an additional 40 years if you take the right preventative care. This can greatly increase your enjoyment and to be able to live as opposed to just existing. Now, some of you are saying, well, I'm already 50. What good is this? You know, maybe if I would have started 20 years ago, this would have helped. But I'm saying absolutely not. And thank you for being here and continuing now. It starts with now. We can't promise to improve or get you back to 100%. I'm not going to try and sell you something we can't. But we can tell you we can change that scale a bit. And if not, we can definitely keep you at 50 to 75% throughout the rest of your life for a lot longer than you would if you just let nature simply take its course. Now, in order to get to there are 3 steps that we take. The first step is pain relief. What happens when you're in pain is it's your body's last resort. It's kind of saying, hey, pay attention to me, something needs to happen. It's also the easiest thing to fix. So, here in our chiropractic world, we have this big fancy word called subluxation. That basically just means a vertebrae, or a part of your spine, one of those little knobs, are pulled out of place. Those are connected by 2 nerves. When your spine is out, when your vertebrae is out of place, it's pinching on your nerve. Your nerve is what sends signals out to the rest of your body. when a nerve is pinched, it's sending signals out to your body that maybe it shouldn't be sending. It's kind of like a hose. When a hose is laid out correctly, the water comes spewing out, no problem. However, when there's a kink in it, the water pressure diminishes quite a bit, and you search for the problem. Well, it's kind of an easy fix. You simply unkink the hose, and then the water comes out. That's the same here. Is with when there's a subluxation, then the chiropractor can simply come and adjust you and get that vertebrae back into place, get that nerve unpinched, and get those messages out there that should be sent. Now, it is so easy to say, well, I'm out of pain. See you later. We're good to go. I don't need chiropractic anymore. That will not continue to change your mobility scale, which is the goal here. We want to change that mobility scale. It's kind of like when you go to the orthodontist and you walk in and you say, I would like straight teeth. They can't promise you it'll happen tomorrow. It takes a couple steps. You got to keep coming back. You got to keep getting those braces tightened. Same with working out. You don't go to the gym overnight and do 50 crunches and expect to wake up with a six-pack. You got to keep working at it. You got to build that muscle definition. Which brings us to stabilization. Your body is self-healing, and that's a blessing and a curse because it does allow you to continue your life even if you are in pain. However, it does get used to being misaligned and being into that pain. So once your pain is gone, it's so easy to slip back into it because your body's used to being misaligned. It's used to being out of order. Well, with the stabilization phase, we get your body used to being back in alignment and healthy and rehabilitated, where then you can move on to maintenance. This is the easiest, most cost-effective way to live your life. All you have to do is simply come in, maybe once a month, get a quick adjustment, and be on your way and maintain that healthy, vital, mobile lifestyle that you deserve. Now, here's the part where I know all of you are saying, that's how they get you. Those chiropractors, I knew it. They want you to always come back. And you know what? Maybe you're right. But before you make any judgments, let me ask you this. What doctor have you been to that said, don't ever come back? Did you go to the dentist and have the dentist say, well, your teeth look great. Don't come back unless they fall out. He or she would never do that, for it would be a thing of malpractice. They push you towards the right thing, which is preventative care. Remember back to when you were in probably about the 3rd grade and you had your first eye exam. Did the eye doctor say to you, well, your eyes look great to me. As far as we're concerned, you need never bother with the care of your eyes again. Unless, of course, you go completely blind. Then maybe you should come back. I think it's time that you are honest. No doctor can say that you should ignore your health until there is a problem. No doctor can recommend that you never return. And we certainly can't either, because it wouldn't be what you need to enjoy life. Rest assured, we don't want you in here any more than needed. Our adjusting tables are full as it is. But the purpose of our maintenance of care is to change that mobility scale in your life. Now, we can't promise to take away any wrinkles or keep your teeth pearly white, but we can enable you to run, move, play, and stay young your first 100 years. Now, I understand I seem a bit passionate about this subject, and I am anxious for everyone to experience the benefits of chiropractic care. Let me give you one quick example as to why I'm so passionate about this subject. We have a patient that comes in who has a fusion in his back. And you know, his back was in pretty bad shape, we can't lie. And my doctor, Dr. Weiss, even said, I'm not sure what I can do for you. He was experiencing some numbness in his legs due to the back pain. And so Dr. Weiss gave him adjustment, and right away then he was able to walk out a little bit straighter, and a couple weeks later said he wasn't experiencing any numbness anymore. Your spine affects so much more than just your back and your neck and the pain in it. It also affects many other areas of your body because of those nerves that they are attached to and those signals that those nerves send out. Taking preventative measures to take care of your spine means taking preventative measures to take care of your entire body and making sure it's working as properly as possible. Now, right about this time you should be saying, hey wait, before you quit, I do care about my health and the future health of my family. what about their mobility scale and their health? Is there anything I can do? The answer is absolutely. In fact, it is never too soon to start. Even a newborn child has experienced great trauma to the spine through childbirth. When you think about the immense pressure put on the neck and spine through childbirth, it's easy for you to see that we actually start our lives with untreated problems. Obviously, your family needs to come in and be checked for a simple, easy, and healthy maintenance plan towards a life of mobility. The good news is, with a little bit of preventative care, we can eliminate much of their pain management later in life. Now, because you all have been so wonderful and you came and you joined and you learned how to stay young for your first 100 years, I'm here to offer you a special. For only $20, I can offer you all first day examinations, which include x-rays if needed, a thorough neurological and orthopedic exam, and a sit down with the doctor to talk about your maintenance plan and what we need to do to proceed to get you towards maintenance and get you towards living the mobile life that you deserve. In order to take advantage of this special, you need to schedule with me right here, right now. We have to keep it simple and confined to those who are here. If you would like to sign up a member of your family or any of your friends, I understand you don't necessarily know their schedule. I don't even know my schedule for next week. And if the time you made for them becomes completely impossible for them to make, all they have to do is simply call our reception office and reschedule without any sort of arrangements or explanation as to why, just the new time. Well, that's all I have for you. Just so that you know, actually, that $20 that we take from you, we don't even keep. We then donate that to Love Inc. So not only are you benefiting your personal health and wellness or your family's personal health and wellness, but you're contributing back to the community. It's really, really a win-win and a great cause. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. But most importantly, I hope you did everything you can to live the life you can and to stay young your first 100 years.